He puts a hard looping pass across.
The pass across, Piker, she turns left.
Just quickly shut down by Nat.
Touchline, will he get rid of it?
Josh sees the ball, takes it on his near side.
So I'm Tom Simkin, I'm the Open Squad coach for the World Cup 2023. My role here is obviously try and develop a team to go and win the World Cup, try and improve the polocrosse standards that we have here in the UKPA, and give us a successful open team to go and obviously win some preparations and compete at the highest level and do well. That's my aim.
I'm Faye Scott. I am the Open Squad manager. Hopefully I'll still be the manager going to the World Cup in South Africa in 2023. My aim is to support Tom and the team to do the best that they possibly can, to give them the best backup that they can possibly have, and do whatever we can to try and make it a successful tour and a successful run-up as well.
For me, I think it's the downtime with the groups that you have. It's the time you spend together, whether that is in a minibus going to an event or going training or something like that. The fun that you have on those sort of things, the random comments that you hear and becomes the comments of tour and things like that. Some of them are literally not repeatable, far too rude. But those are probably the highlights for me, certainly as a coach. Those sort of times you spend with the players when they're just being themselves, which is great. Obviously, winning is great, and those sorts of there. Playing wise, my first sort of senior cap, travelling abroad playing. For some of you that don't know, I did actually play once and represent. So yeah, I think that was great. Spending some time out there and playing with different people, playing under 18s, under 21s, and obviously seniors as well. That's been some great experiences for me. So I certainly look fondly back, certainly to all my test matches that I've done. I've been involved in both as a player and a coach, and so it's kind of difficult to highlight one single thing.
Every time the players were on the pitch, I was super proud of them. It goes really quick. One of the key memories is in Australia we played in the dark, which is something very different for the UK. So we played under floodlight. Which I think we all were a little bit apprehensive about what it would be, what it would look like. We were the first night match that played, and I remember walking up to the pitch and walking up behind the stands. In Australia, there are very large stands with lots of spectators on, with it being an evening match, and walking up behind the stands and hearing the crowd and the cheers from the UK supporters as we walked up behind with the horses was a memory I'll never forget. Super proud moment. And doing the parade, standing with the team doing the parade at the beginning the beginning of the World Cup.
Look at Webb trying to go the pace with him downtown. McClarty with a bounce and overhead throw. No, he's blocked up. No goal.
I would have liked to have seen us have a really well planned kind of run up to the next World Cup, which we would have had we not been scuppered by COVID. We had things in place. We kind of were already on track. We were making plans. That is unfortunately a world pandemic. Nobody can kind of control, and that would have been one of the big things. I think one of the things that the UK historically has kind of not necessarily got kind of sorted is the run up and the team building. Tom said a lot about the team building and building an ethos of team rather than individuals. We've got some really talented players, but playing as a team, you've got to know your team members, and I think we've not had that opportunity for quite a while. So for me, that was one of the things ideally I would have liked coming back from 2019, but we did have plans in place, and we will now endeavour to get those back on track, and work as hard as we can to get that in place, to give us the best possible opportunity.
Obviously, we initially had some tours planned this summer for the Open Squad, which obviously can't happen due to COVID. With that in mind, we're going to run some training for the group and try and take as many opportunities as we can really to get together. And obviously, we've had no polocross for the last sort of 12 months. So it's important for us to get people playing again, but also important for us as a group to pull together. So if we can try and get some trainings together, get some time together, so we can try and look at the players, both technically, tactically, but also how they integrate each other as a group as well. We can hopefully then start to look at selection down to some long lists to move forward into our programme. I think it's developing a group of individuals. We've always had talented players here in the UK, and we need to hone those talents, work together, and become an effective team. Teams are always going to be more successful than individuals, and I think sometimes we need to really focus on that element there. So there's a trust and an understanding, so that we can play really efficient polocross. And I think if we can do that, then we've got every chance in the world to beat the top teams.
Rachel doing the number 3 for the UK, puts a little one out to herself, sits up nicely, left hand turns into a racket now, makes her way downfield. Cranor making up ground. Here's a 1 Pikett out in front. They go the pace of UK girls up the quarterway. The pass across. Pikett, go!
Thought about South Africa, but no, it'd be Zambia. The Zambian supporters are just so vocal and loud and so enthusiastic. The players are a great bunch. Their manager, when we were out in Australia, was so supportive. They're just a great bunch, as are the South Africans, but they're just, the volume of the Zambian supporters is awesome.
It's a toughie, really. There's always lots of coaches out there that are pretty inspirational what they do. I think sort of Clive Woodward in rugby and what he did with the England rugby team, and kind of control all the controllables and allow the players to perform their best. There's someone there that did it and won a World Cup. You look at how there's great American coaches that have always been successful, whether that be sort of basketball and Popovich is from the San Antonio Spurs, things like that you can offer there. But I just think having that kind of that level of consistency and excellence, and having very clear expectations for both you and your players, that's going to do well. So whatever sport you go into, if you can have that, then I think that's going to be really beneficial for any team.
The Kingdom through the number 2, then Ward brings it around, through the number 1, got it somehow, goes the 30-yard line, she downs the ball, can she, magnificent, she regathered the high ball, and Flick pulls the trigger for goal number 2.
I think for me, give it everything. Give your players, the rest of your team, your manager and your coach, everything you can. It's not just about how good you are on the pitch, it's what you do outside of the pitch, the commitment you make. This is going to be a tough run up to the next World Cup because we've obviously missed out on a lot of play. So there's a big commitment for players. And every member of the team's got to make that commitment. We've got to go out there. We're going out there not to make up numbers. We're going out there to win. Give it everything. Never give up. If if they don't make it this time, don't give up. Keep on going. And I suppose the one piece of advice I would have for all of them, and particularly those that kind of do succeed, is enjoy every single minute. It passes so quickly. Enjoy every minute, make sure you're prepared, and give it everything you've possibly got.
For me, it is kind of push yourself to the limits, make sure that everything you're in control of, everything you can be in control of. Do your preparation away from the team as well. If you're trying to be a gun one, make sure that you don't miss goals. If you're looking to be a ball carrying 3, and make sure you don't miss pickups. Make sure we don't make errors. If you can avoid making errors, then you've got a chance of going a long way, because then we can start to develop. People know what's going to happen around you as well. Limit the mistakes.
Now he's happy, and it dropped there at the foot of the 3s. Oh, lovely. Get out the back by Bede. Has to put the pass across. Across the 3 to 2 to 1 to goal post. Oh, put your hands together, ladies and gentlemen. That's probably the last we see of these ladies, chuckers.
Bye.
Bye.